What's up, Sportman family? It's your boy Sparkman, and yes, it's that time of the year. We are talking about the newest tins coming out this year. Now, last year we had a lot of controversial videos where a lot of people stated their opinion. Didn't agree with mine, but some people did, and that's okay. To each their own, right? That's why I always say that. I love hearing your opinions. Just don't attack me because I'm just a person and I'm just stating my opinion. So respect where respect is due, where I'll respect you, respect me, and we all have a happy day. All right. Well, we'll get with the video now. Now, obviously, this year's tins are going to probably be more hype than last year's tins, and I say that because the market has been really doing well with a lot of the cards in the market. Like they've been pretty substantially up there in price. So we're gonna see a lot of people probably opening these sets or these tins up for the cards in them, because their sets in the tins are gonna be Power of the Elements, Photon Hypernova, Cyberstorm Axis, Duelist Nexus, Age of Overlord, Maze of Memories, Amazing Defenders, Wild Survivors, and apparently there's gonna be others as well, with also some brand new art version cards from our famous and more favorite cards appealing to the OG audience: Red Eyes Black Dragon, Dark Magician Girl, Harpy Featherduster, and Raigeki. And apparently there's going to be 50 different Core Center Secret Rare cards you can get from this tin. And you're getting 3 Core Center Secret Rares per tin, 3 Prismatic Secret Rares, 9 Ultra Rares, and 24 Commons per tin. Now, here's where I have the problem. But let me talk about the positives first, actually, before I go there. Love the art design. Love it, love it, love it. Love that they're kind of introducing some new art version cards to appeal to the OG audience. Love that. Love the sets that they're bringing into this, because people are going to buy into them immediately. Because obviously it's some of the more expensive sets that we've had this year, and people are trying to get some of the cards, such as SP Little Knight, Sky Crisis card. I'm forgetting the name now. I don't know why. And then you'll have Bishop Dissipator. So all these cards are just so expensive in the market. Now you're going to be able to kind of get them at this point. Here's where I have the problem. I think many people would agree with me. Is that making QCRs so readily available, as we mentioned last year with the promos, does hurt the market for this year's tins in the long-term standpoint. Now, I get it. There's more to it than a value, right? Than valuing these tins. Because obviously people like to open them for fun. And yes, I totally get it. I probably will be doing the same. However, I did not open last year's tins because I thought they were completely trash. And that's just my opinion. Now, this year's tins, I do think it will be a different regard to this year's tins, because there's just too much good stuff in it. And I think people actually want to buy into it. However, 3 QCRs per tin does make you want to buy into it, but depletes the QCR market more. Depletes the Starlight Rare market more, because again, when you make such a card readily available in the QCR and something so similar to the Starlight Rare, it's depleting both at the same time. It's very unfortunate that it's been that way, but that's where it's going. We're also making a lot of the cards that are already Starlight Rares QCRs, so that's another thing for another video, but we're not going to get to that. I just think there should be better ways of going about these tins. They used to do such a good job back in the day when they brought these tins out. I just think that these mega packs that they're doing, it's just devaluing the whole entire product itself. I think that back in the day when they had the packs, in terms of the actual packs from the sets, I think that was a more beneficial way of getting this product to sell in a more higher regard. You got some different packs in it. You got the promos, which I don't think this one is having promos, unless I'm mistaken. And even with that being said, I do think the promos should be the higher expensive cards, and then putting the sets, or the sets that were really popular, like Age of Overlord, Photon Hypernova, Cyberstorm Axis, those being the main kind of sets and packs in this tin, would have been the most beneficial thing, with increased chances and odds of pulling a high rarity card, such as a QCR, such as a secret rare, such as a ultra rare. Increasing the odds. I think that would have been a more beneficial way of doing this. I think would have gotten more people buying into the tins, and also buying into the promos that are going to be coming out with the tins. But listen, Konami's going this route for the past few years. Has it worked for them? Not really, but they seem to be continuing this trend. I will say, for me personally, when I look at this product, I do think it's going to sell because of how high the price of cards are right now in certain sets. So they have that going for them. However, it's an exception for this year because I don't think it will carry on next year, because I don't think we're going to have every year that they're going to be main cards in a set that really skyrockets. And there have been a lot of cards in this year's sets that have just skyrocketed and become a ridiculous price, to be honest with you. I don't think that is going to be the trend moving forward all the time, as we can see last year's tin being a good example of that. And listen, everyone got on my case last year about, the product being, it will be worth much more than what I said it was. I mean, we can look now and see that it definitely wasn't. All the promos are under $10. The cards inside the tins are under $20 for the most part. Nothing is really grasping with that tin. The seal value, I think, is like $12 for a tin, which is $8 below market price, right? MSRP price. By this point, you would think a tin would actually increase value. No, this is just decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. Disgustingly bad. I think there should be strides in improving the tin and doing it differently if you see that in the market. I also will say this. I know a lot of people are saying, we have to look at it more as people opening things that they need and people think they open it for fun. I get all that, but I want to also look at this perspective here. And I said this perspective last year, but I think a lot of people miss this perspective. The card shops, the online stores, they're going to stop holding these types of products in their, inventory. Because people are just wanting the cards inside the tins. They're not wanting the actual tin itself. The whole purpose of bringing out a product is to sell the product, not to sell one or two cards inside the product. Because then there's no reason to have this product on the shelves. People are not going to buy the tin. So owners and websites are losing money, and they're going to stop eventually carrying tins and then entirely carrying Yu-Gi-Oh! Because they're realizing there's a loss. Now, again, exception for this year because, again, this year was a massive success in terms of all the sets doing really, really well for itself. For the most part, Duelist Nexus not being one of them, but, some of them not doing so well, but for the most part, doing very well. But when you have shop owners and online websites stop carrying Yu-Gi-Oh! Product, I want you to also imagine that a monopoly will form with certain websites and stores, and then we will have to be burdened now with paying much more for the cards we want that are supposed to be reprint and cheaper are not. And on top of it, the product itself will be massively overpriced. Because that's what happens when you have a monopoly. So I want you to take all this into perspective. Yes, we want things to get reprinted and want things to be accessible, but we want it to be accessible in a way that appreciates all sides of doing so. We respect the owners and the websites that have these tins. We want to appeal to the audience that need reprints and need it for their deck or they just collection, and then people opening it for fun as well. So we want to appeal all sides, and I'm sure there's other sides to this as well, and I'm sure you'll tell me as well. But we want to appeal to all audience here. We want to appeal to everyone. This way, everyone's happy, and everyone is able to go about their day. And I think back in the day when these tins came out, everyone was happy. Everyone. Because the way they were marketing, the way they were doing this, it was well presented. I think nowadays it is not well presented in that regard. People are just nitpicking at things they need and forgetting about the tin altogether. So, my advice to Konami, change next year what you're doing in the tins. I said it last year, but I'll say it again. Change what you're doing. Make it better. Make it more a product people are going to want to buy instead of just the cards inside. Bring back the packs inside the tins from the sets with increased chances of pulling something. Bring back promos, and maybe even, you used to do these sleeves. Yeah, they were cheap sleeves, but it's a good little add-on. or use some of the sleeves that you've been doing with like Magnificent Mavens. I think Magnificent Mavens is the one you had like the actual, like, I wouldn't say like amazing sleeves, but better sleeves, you know? Maybe add something like that to the tin. Give it a little bit more juice, a little more oomph, you know, for people to want to buy it. I think if you do that, you would sell the tins, you make owners happy, people would open it and enjoy opening it for fun, and then you would have a surprise if you were to pull something really awesome from the tins. I think that's amazing content right there as well for those that are trying to make content with it as well. I think when you have a mega pack, I don't know, I don't see the fun in a mega pack, but also I don't see the fun in guaranteeing a QCR. I don't see the fun in that, because you're not pulling something like, oh my god, I got a QCR. No, you're just like, oh, a QCR, okay. You know, like, okay, another QCR. It's like you're expecting it. It's like it's like trash in a way. No offense. You know, you want it to be special, and if it's not special, then it's not gonna be hyped. I think that's what a lot of people miss as well. You want it to be hyped, you know. So let's do better. Let's do better for next year. I think it will still do well. I think the tins in itself will do well this year because of what is going on in the market, because there's a lot of high priced cards. And I hope and pray to God that the QCRs stop at some point this next couple months, because I can't stand them anymore. That's just my personal opinion. I just need Starlight Rares back, because I can't stand the 20 QCRs per set. That is pissing me off. I think that is just ridiculous. But yeah, that's just my opinion. That's how I feel. Overall, I think the tin will do very well. I love the design. I'm not a fan of the name of the tins, but you know, I love the design. I love that they're introducing some new art version of cards. The sets inside will be great, but the overall meat of the product, I do think it needs work. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Would love to hear what you have to say. And from yours truly, Sparkman. Be respectful, be nice, be humble, and we'll catch you next one. Peace out, YouTube.
I give my all. Hey, just to save you, I give all of me.